Hey, Cooter. Check this out. There's anywhere but here, man, on this here podcast.
Oh, I like me some podcasts, man.
What y'all talking about?
We're talking about anywhere but here.
What's anywhere but here? Anywhere but here in Mississippi?
No, man, anywhere but here over in England.
Hey, we ain't in England.
I know, but that's where the England's from.
What?
Hey, Cletus, remember when we went and saw that movie about the wars in the stars and they had like lightsabers and stuff like that? Well, these people here talk about things we like.
Really?
I guarantee.
Well, hot diggity damn. What we waiting for?
Anywhere but here podcast.
Hello and welcome to Anywhere But Here. It's episode 31, and that was our new. Well, I don't know. It's a new thing.
It's a theme for today.
Yes. It's been sent to us by Nerd Church, the podcast that we've spoken about before. Go and check them out because they're great guys. They produce really, really good quality stuff.
As you can tell, yeah.
I like that a lot.
Just before we started recording as well, we actually recorded a reaction video of us listening to that for the first time. And by the time you hear this, probably won't be up on YouTube yet. Maybe it'll be up tomorrow.
Which is, yeah.
So that might cause issues because I've got to edit in and stuff. But yeah, and we're in Eastbourne tomorrow. But it will be up on the YouTube page. If you go and subscribe to us on YouTube, that will just turn up when it's available.
Yeah. And you can check out our first reaction. We've had to listen to that a couple of times to stop laughing at it.
Yeah,
I'm not laughing at it, laughing.
Yeah, so we can compose ourselves a lot quicker after listening.
Yeah, and I've heard little things every single time I've listened to it as well. Yeah. I like it a lot. But yeah, thank you to the guys at Nerd Church. That's pretty fucking awesome.
Yeah, we definitely do like it.
Yeah, I just wish we could get anywhere near that kind of level of stuff that we could do for other people, but we don't have the kind of technology. And
I'm hoping we can get back on track really naturally.
Yes,
because we've kind of lost ourselves.
Yeah,
in that.
This episode, I think it's gonna be quite me heavy.
Yeah.
So if you don't want to listen to me going on about stuff, then switch off now. But don't, because it's really good. It's gonna be really interesting. I trailed a story that I was gonna tell last episode about my holiday and the things that I discovered while I was on, or after I came back from holiday.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's like Ant knows the very basics, but I'm gonna unveil. I went investigative journalist on this.
Yeah, you spent all week on it, so
really did.
It's going to be an exciting episode.
I've got a structure and everything, but more on that later because big news this week.
Yeah.
Thursday.
Yeah, we are going to address the elephant in the room, and we have tried to keep our opinions to a minimum on social networking. I've been liking statuses that agree with my view on it.
So what's the news then?
Batfleck. Ben Affleck has been cast as the new Batman
in the second Man of Steel film.
Yeah,
which is going to be
has to be called Batman versus Superman. Or Superman versus Batman, because it's a Superman movie.
Yeah, I mean,
it has to be. They can't.
Yeah, it's not going to be The Dark Knight Returns.
But it's not. But see, this is the thing. Everyone is like, my view is, why not?
Oh yeah, no.
Because everyone's kind of going, oh no, he's going to be a crap Batman. He can't do it. But the problem is everyone's basing this on their new Batman, which is Christian Bale, The Dark Knight.
Yeah.
But was The Dark Knight a member of the JLA?
No, he wasn't.
And this is a lead up to a JLA movie,
That's right.
So it can't be Dark Knight. So it's going to be a different Batman.
Yeah, I mean, they were going to have to make Batman a bit less emo, a little bit less dark to fit in with the new 52 style reboot that they've done with the JLA series.
Yeah.
I just personally, I mean, fuck it. Ben Affleck is not a great actor.
He's not a terrible actor.
He's not. No, he's not. No. But I just wonder whether he's got the gravitas to pull off Batman. Whoops.
He's got the right jawline.
Yes,
he's got a good jawline. Because he can get the body. He can get the look. That's the thing.
Yeah.
He's definitely got the Batman look.
That's true.
Which is whether he can do it. But did anyone kind of watch 10 Things I Hate About You and go, do you know what? That blonde guy with the curly hair could be a really good Joker.
Yeah, I know.
Everyone hated
that
is what choice.
People were saying.
And now everyone has said he is as good as, if not better, than Jack Nicholson.
Yeah, I know. So, I mean, my first reaction wasn't anger, like a lot of people seem to have got really, really angry about it, and I don't understand that because I like Ben Affleck. I mean, he's a great director, and he's not a bad actor. But my initial reaction was really, because
I did honestly. I was quite lucky in the fact that I was still half asleep because I've been on earlies this morning, so it was like 4:30 in the morning when I read the news, and I just kind of went, what? But I wasn't awake enough to instantly go on Twitter and kind of vent my frustrations and surprise. And I sat and thought about it, and I was just like, this is not really a terrible choice.
Yeah, I mean,
in all honesty. I mean, who have we had as Batman so far? Like, Val Kilmer.
Adam West.
Well, yeah, and he's a great actor.
Precisely.
But we've had Val Kilmer, wasn't a popular choice.
Phoned in
Michael Keaton. George Clooney.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. Yeah. I mean, Christian Bale isn't.
And the thing is, like, everyone... Was Val Kilmer, he was... nobody liked his choice, but actually kind of liked him afterwards. And Michael Keaton was... I mean, everyone was kind of like, oh, all right then.
Yeah, the only thing with Michael Keaton is that he doesn't have a jawline. Like, he didn't have the Batman jaw.
No, he definitely... No.
That was the weird thing about his performance. And also that... You want to get nuts? Let's get nuts. It was a bit over the top.
But all Batmans that we've had, I think, have been passable, been quite good Batmans.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, it's more about the character than the actor anyway. You don't... I mean, will you see much of Ben Affleck's face in this if he just comes in and he's Batman? He probably won't be Bruce Wayne that much because it's not a Batman film.
Yeah, because that is a very good point. That is an extremely good point.
So you won't see his face. No. So it'll probably work.
And
the only thing that that I've got a little bit of a problem with is Daredevil, because again, the guys from Nerd Church, they put up a video on Twitter on Friday, and
it was from Elektra, wasn't it? Though,
was it Elektra or was it Daredevil?
I don't know. The title of the YouTube was. I didn't actually watch the video, but I saw the title of the video.
I think it's
Elektra.
in Daredevil because I don't think he's in Elektra, is he?
I've
never seen
refuse
Elektra.
to watch it.
Yeah, but did you watch the fight scene where he's in the park?
He's blind.
Yeah, no, but he's supposed to have awesome senses of.
But he's still blind.
Yeah, I know. But
that's the thing I saw. Kind of like was it Miles put it up from the and he said about him being quite a stiff fight from fight scenes. I was like, God. He's blind.
Yeah, but he's like jumping around all over the place. He's balancing on seesaws, fighting.
It's a lot of. I think it's a lot of rope work.
Yeah.
So you've got a limited range. I understand.
No, but the actual fighting bits.
Yeah. You can be trained.
Yeah. He needs to train a lot better, is what I'm saying.
All I'm going to say, a lot of people's argument when they've been saying about him as Batman is, oh, have you seen Daredevil though? It's such a shit film. And someone said it at work, Daredevil was a really shit film. Yeah, but that wasn't Ben Affleck. That was the writers.
And also it was before Marvel owned the studio. It wasn't a Marvel film.
No, it was
It was a studio-owned film of Daredevil.
Yeah.
If Marvel went ahead and did a Daredevil film now, it would be brilliant. I went to see it and I didn't have a massive problem with it.
I quite liked Daredevil.
Yeah.
I wasn't familiar with the books, so
no, me neither. The only problem that I had with it is that Kingpin was black, but then that's not an issue. That's not
Michael Clark Duncan.
Exactly. He's got the physique. He was massive.
Off,
he was a man mountain, and it didn't bother me that much that I was like, oh my God.
Yeah. And what colour is Blade?
Exactly.
I mean, you can't.
John Constantine.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you can't.
You
can't. But I think, I think everyone's judging it prematurely, like they always do.
Give it a chance.
It is. I think my favourite tweet, or comment I saw about it was, the thing is, everyone's complaining now, and when it comes out and Ben Affleck's awesome, everyone's going to be humble, saying, "Oh, I knew he was going to be good."
Yeah, precisely. So, just don't vent your spleen quite so much. I mean, have you seen the people have been changing their profile pictures to "I believe in Ben Affleck"?
Oh, I haven't seen that. I'll be doing that.
Yeah,
I think he's going to be good.
I think he's going to be good as well. I think if he...
I don't think he's going to be brilliant. I don't think he's going to make everyone look at Batman in a new light at all.
No, I mean, I think a lot of people's problem is, like, if he fucks up, he's going to fuck up the character of Batman. I don't think
He's not going to fuck up the Batman franchise.
No.
And let's be honest, the biggest problem with this film is it's a second Man of Steel film.
Yes, exactly. That's what we should be focusing on. Why
it's another Man of Steel film.
Yeah, that's the travesty here.
Yeah.
We've got to put it into perspective, people. Come on.
So I think that's enough of that. I think Tom needs to get on with his story.
Yeah, let's do that.
You're listening to Anywhere But Here, the best podcast in Kent, or your money back.
Thank you, people from History of Misunderstanding. Go and watch them too, and subscribe and listen. Yeah, because they don't do videos. Sorry. So a couple of weeks ago, went on holiday with Joe down to Cornwall for a weekend away.
Yes.
We stayed in Tintagel, which is right next to, well, Tintagel Castle, the ruins of, which is where King Arthur apparently was born, and the Knights of the Round Table and Merlin lived in a cave on the beach and all that kind of thing.
All that was running through my head there was the Knights of the Round Table.
Yeah, it's Camelot.
Yeah. Sorry.
It is such a silly place.
As you were saying it was just running through my head.
But yeah, so literally the castle is the Tintagel Castle ruins are on a headland here, and the hotel Camelot Castle is on the next headland over. So you literally look down onto it's right next to it. So
you can see. Perfect
location. When we turned up, I mean, you turn up and there's this massive box of a building. I mean, I've shown you a picture of it already. It's pretty.
It's an impressive looking.
Yeah,
castle.
it's not imposing. I mean, it's Tintagel village itself is very, very small, and you drive right through the village, and it's the end of the road. Like, it is the final thing that you get to, and it looks amazing.
In terms of a castle, it's fairly small. This is the one you stayed at. This isn't the ruins. This is
the thing. Is it's not actually a castle itself.
It's like a manor
it was
house.
Actually built, like a manor house. I believe it may have at one point been some sort of I don't know whether it's appeared in literature, like novelists have written about it, and I think the architect styled it. It's got battlements and turrets and stuff, but I think the original use for the place was actually, I think it might have been a psychiatric hostel. Or
you stayed in Arkham?
Yeah, basically. Which is kind of weird because there's a lot of stuff being said about the place which I wasn't aware of until I got home. But it's, really, really nice weekend away. Awesome, lovely place. On the first night we were there, we were sat in the hotel bar area having a drink, just one drink before bed.
Yeah.
And, well, hold on, let me go back.
Go back.
When you walk in and you go into the reception area, you walk through a revolving door and you go into the main area, and all around the main foyer are pictures of the owner with famous people.
Okay.
Like, who have stayed there.
Yeah.
I assume.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of places you see.
I mean, this place has got its own helipad, and it's grand inside as well. I mean, again, if I bring up some of the inside views,
and we'll put pictures, I think, and stuff. Probably pop some on the Facebook page. And
I mean, you can get to it through the CamelotCastle.com website. I mean, if you just look at, I mean, that's. As you come in, there's a massive round table at the end of the corridor, chairs around it. Off to one side, you've got, both sides, you've got lounge areas, big sofas, and and stuff like that. There you go.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, all around the booking in place in the foyer, there are pictures of these famous people, and it's stuff like there's Simon Callow, Kelly Jones from the Stereophonics, a couple other people I didn't quite recognise, but you've also got John Travolta,
right?
You've got Tom Cruise, and you've got Nick Cage, and you've got the Mappins, who are the owners, John and Irina Mappin. There's another picture of them papped at the red carpet premiere for Mission Impossible 3 on Tom Cruise's guest list. And that was a bit strange, but you kind of think, well, obviously they're proud of the people that they have staying there. They obviously do these functions.
Yeah, and Tom Cruise is a nice guy.
Yeah.
And if you talk to him,
by all
accounts, yeah, he remembers your name like years after he met you and stuff. Yeah.
So it's told. That didn't, ring any alarm bells or anything. It was just like, oh, this is quite cool. Look at the people who have stayed here.
Yeah,
this is, shown to the room. Well, we were given an upgrade.
Oh.
They were like, would you like to get an upgrade? It's free. And we were like, yes. As you would.
There was none of this. Oh, really?
Now,
no,
again, we saw the website gallery and saw the rooms, and you've got 4-poster beds in some of these rooms, and you've got even the ones without 4-poster beds are quite plush.
Yeah, they're nice.
And on the walk to the room, there are lots of pieces of art hanging up around the place, and I mean some of these are the size of the wall.
Yeah.
Right, and some of them are quite garish.
Yeah, you get that a lot in castles and museum type places.
But they're all like they all had like butterflies and glitter and stuff, and it looked a little bit childish. Some of them were like a child had done them, and I was just it was a bit weird because we checked them out. They all had the same name on the bottom. This guy Ted Stourton, and they're in every single room as well. Like his art is everywhere. We'll get to that in a minute as well.
There's a lot of paintings in that guy.
Shed loads, yeah. And then we got into the room and we're kind of expecting that, if not the 4-poster, because we were like, that's obviously for the famouses.
Yeah.
We got in there and it was a little bit disappointing, if I'm honest.
Oh, really?
It was just a basic room. And
that was your upgrade?
Yeah. And I wondered what that meant.
Right.
Because really, it was basic. It was a double bed. There was a chair in the corner. There was a TV with a DVD player.
Right. Yeah.
Sideboard, a bathroom, shower, bath, sink.
Nothing.
Yeah, nothing spectacular.
Nothing to tell on the podcast.
We were kind of like, not really. No. How am I going to talk about this when I get back?
Yeah.
Beautiful view.
Oh yeah.
Really, really nice view. Pictures. Sorry, this is not even on the YouTube, but this is just for ants. This is out the window.
Okay, it's a very nice cove.
The Atlantic. There's a cove. There's headland. There's rocks. There's there's heather and there's fields of ponies down the bottom here and sheep and cows and stuff.
But no fields of gold.
No fields of gold. No. Damn you, Sting. But yeah, lovely setting, beautiful setting.
It's Cornwall.
Yeah, I love Cornwall. Cornwall is my favourite part of this country. And yeah, so we were like, I wondered, bloody glad we got the upgrade in that case, because what the hell?
What would the basic room have been like? Yeah,
precisely. And yeah, it all went fine. We went out and we had a day stretching our legs after the car journey, which took 7 hours, which I might have mentioned on the last episode. But yeah, we came back at night, had a drink before going to bed. And out of a room that's roped off, blue velvet rope, private on the door, walks this fella. And we're sitting there, we're looking in the... strewn around the room, there were books and newspapers, and the newspaper was kind of all about stuff that was going on in the hotel.
Right.
Which is cool, events that had happened, in promoting stuff that they do. And they also had these massive books with all of this Ted Stourton's artwork in it, like huge portfolio.
Yeah, big
books.
Coffee table books.
Yeah, like that thick, maybe 3 inches thick.
Yeah.
And we were kind of flicking through that, and this fella walks out of this private door, and he clocks us reading this thing. He was like, hello.
Proper Cornish accent by the sounds of it.
Yeah.
Hello.
Well, actually, first off, a big chocolate Labrador came over, and some woman came over and was like, no, stop, do not come back, I'm really sorry, and then this fella comes out and he's like, oh, hello there, I see you're reading stuff about Ted.
Ted.
Yeah. I just wondered whether you'd seen in this room, and we were like,
was this the roped off room?
The roped off room with the private on the door that he'd just come out of.
Okay.
And we were like, no, no, we haven't.
Yeah.
Fucking weirdo.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh no, you must come in and have a look. And
Because
so,
you're obviously fans, because you're reading his.
yeah, because we've got more of his. It's more exclusive. This room is where we showcase some of the, the better quality ones,
masterpieces.
Yeah. We walked in and like the place itself has got these lovely like flock walls.
Yeah.
Regency style looking place. Massive fireplaces, and all the rest of it. Walk into this room. And it's just turquoise flock walls. Like everything's turquoise. All the paintings in there are turquoise. Everything
Is turquoise.
in this room is turquoise.
Wow.
What I'm forgetting to say is that this fella was wearing like a velvety jacket.
Nice.
With pink patches and a pink collar. It was navy blue.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yummy.
He was wearing like corduroy trousers and he was wearing suede moccasins.
yeah.
Yes.
So the voice matched the attire.
Oh yes. And he gave us some spiel about like this is where we showcase some of Ted's finer art, and we use this as a display room for people who might be interested in buying artwork, because all the artwork in the hotel is for sale. All the artwork is for sale, and if you fancy a particular one, then you by all means you can buy it. And these are the spectacular ones.
I'm imagining that is exactly what it was like.
And
if you want to know what this guy looked like and his mannerisms, you need to watch the video.
And and if say for example we occasionally get sheikhs and the like staying here and they want to buy it for £9,000, then we'll sell it for £9,000, and it's more full.
Oh, so they're priced according to
fool them. Basically, is what he said.
He said,
yeah. And,
so it's priced according to.
And then he went on this thing about Ted the artist. He's got a studio downstairs in the basement and
in the castle.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And you can go down there if you like, and he'll show you around. And there's a fantastic thing called the light box down there, which it's just fantastic. And we were like, oh right, okay, yeah, sure, great, good, thanks. And he was like, yeah. And we do this thing, and we moved out of the room at this point and back in where the drinks were, where we'd left them with the dog and the Russian woman. And he was explaining how, because I don't know whether I can keep on doing the accent. He was saying, "Oh well, we run a scheme here where struggling artists or up and coming artists can stay here for free, and they're free to produce art, and we take them, and Ted mentors them and gives them encouragement and all the rest of it.
Sounds like quite a nice.
Yeah, sounds like a really great thing.
Awesome...
And he reckons he does it for like 230, 240 struggling artists a year or something.
Bloody hell.
Which is really great. I mean, if you're a struggling artist, Tintagel's the place to go because you stay for free.
Is that? I imagine that's just painters though.
I would imagine so.
Not musicians.
Not podcasters.
Oh, okay.
Because I was thinking like, because the thing is like he was using the words like symbiosis. And what was the other word that he kept using? Shit. Yeah, but he was just that's it, the algorithm, because it's all about symbiosis. If they stay here and they're staying here for free, we take all their worries away, and they produce better art, and it's all a symbiosis, and it's all the
problem is.
And
I know what this revolves around,
this is
so
going.
like
this is the thing.
This is but I won't ruin it.
And yeah, it's kind of, and I was saying, oh, that's sick, because I was like, how much do you give a shit about what we have to say? So I got back in him and I was like, I know exactly what you mean about like symbiosis and working together with people to produce better effects, because I do I do an online podcast thing, and we've just started kind of what's the word? We've started to kind of reach out and
share some of the workload and help each other, and I know,
kind of produce things for other people. They produce things for us. I can't remember.
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I'm hitting things again.
Hashtag stop hitting things. And yeah, so I was like, yeah, we do this, and we found that through working together, our listenership is going up, which is great, and it's all positive. Everyone's very, and it forces us to do better work, I feel, because we're all trying to now reach a level, I think.
Yeah.
So, I was just bullshitting this guy. But I wanted to see it, and he was kind of, yes, that's very interesting. And you could see in his eyes he just wasn't that bothered about it.
Are you going to buy a fucking painting or not?
No, that's it. He was just doing his spiel. So had I known then what I know now, I'd have gone in with some harder questioning about other things, but...
Well, you would have gone...
yeah, possibly. But yeah, and he was all about the algorithm of life really being,
being a mathematical term.
Yeah, I know, weird. But yeah, so there was that encounter, and it turns out he was John Mappin, and the Russian woman was Irina Mappin, who is his wife.
Okay.
And yeah, that was them, and that was kind of cool. So we met the owner, and that you feel a bit special for meeting the owner, I guess, and he'd taken time out of his life.
It is quite nice, like the owner kind of just talking to like the guests who have booked a basic room and got a basic plus room.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, because he said, "Oh, what room are you staying in?" And we were like, a 308. And he was like, "Oh yes, that's one of the refurbished rooms. That's one of the. It's about 75% done." And basically, what it is, they take a percentage of all the artwork that they sell,
right?
And share it out among the artists, but also some of it goes on the upkeep of the rooms, but not a lot of it. Like the way he was saying. The way he was explaining how it worked, it was almost like, well, the rooms are kind of secondary. The art is what this place is about.
Well, yeah, I think within this, with regard to the sales of the art, obviously you've got the room prices and the drinks and everything like that. So imagine a lot of that would go to the rooms as well, but they use some of the money from the art sales as well.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
But it's not like they put that money towards other things.
Helping people.
Schemes. So not a lot of money is spent on the rooms, and I was like, oh, that's fucking weird. Why would you not just spend money on the rooms? Because they're not shabby, but if that's 75% completed, why isn't it 100% completed?
Yeah.
Because the window frames were a little bit kind of mouldy.
Right, yeah.
And a bit rusty, but then it's right next to the sea.
Well,
so,
you
expect a little bit of kind of corrosion or whatever, but, So that was that. We went to bed, didn't think any more of it. There's this DVD in the room, right?
Right.
And it's a 32-minute documentary on something. And we were this is fucking weird. Like, every room has one of these DVDs and a DVD player so you can play it.
Yeah.
And we just looked at it and were like, this is strange. It was all about, like, the...
You watched it?
Eventually. Yeah, okay. We watched it on the last night. And it's all about... we watched it after a few drinks on the last night, and we were like, fuck it, let's put it on, put the DVD in, and it's like a documentary funded and filmed for them about the celebrations they made for the president of Kazakhstan's birthday in 2010.
That is a very
well
odd...
Irina is from Kazakhstan.
Oh, okay.
Apparently. So there are links there. She was one of the high ups, and he's from, essentially, Mappin is from he wants to think he's the heir of the Mappin and Webb silversmith company, who basically went from selling little silver trinkets outside Harrods in London in the 1800s to becoming silversmiths for the royal family.
Oh, okay.
But they were bought out in 1980, and they're now owned by the Jewelers Goldsmith Group.
So he's not.
So he's not really anything to do with it anymore. But that's where his money came from. Right, it was inherited wealth.
Yeah, so that's why he speaks like this.
Exactly. He was,
from money,
and she's from money from Kazakhstan. Somewhere.
Right.
So there is a connection there somewhere. And this documentary is just a bit weird. Like,
It's a bit of an odd choice, and why would just your regular hotel goers want to watch it?
Exactly.
Like, why are you interested in about Kazakhstan?
And the weird thing was, like, you watch it for about 5 minutes, and you're like, they're doing all this stuff. They've like set up the main room there. They've got this massive cake that's made up like the flag of Kazakhstan, which is light blue with a gold thing, like design on it. And they've got all the guests there in the room. And everything. They've got a shot of a helicopter landing on the helipad and people getting out, but it's not the president of Kazakhstan. And at no point in the documentary up to this point
has he made an appearance.
Yeah, and we kind of like, he's not. Why is he not in this? Like, this is weird. And then after that, because they've sent 2 attaches for Kazakhstan from the embassy from London. That's who's come in the helicopter.
Right.
On behalf of.
So he's not even
he's
coming.
Not even there. For this thing they've laid on for him. And then they cut in this little video clip of him from the United Nations, where he's got like his name tag on the front one of these headsets on. It's just like, what the fuck? And then all the hotel guests are singing happy birthday to President Nazarbayev,
who's not there. And
it's just like, it was quite forced.
Yeah.
Poor Ted Stourton is stood there kind of not looking particularly comfortable. It's just, I don't know, man. Like, it was very odd.
Very
but
odd.
like, I'm so glad that we watched it. I wish we'd nicked it.
Yeah.
I wish we bought it back.
Well,
because it's a watch and a half.
But
yeah. But essentially, when we got back, we were like, that was a bit strange, wasn't it? Everything that went on there.
Great holiday. Hotel owners.
Oh,
yeah,
lovely holiday. And I tell you what, the staff there couldn't do more for you.
Yeah.
And the room was fine, and all the rest of it, and just everyone was really friendly. It was really nice.
Yeah.
And we got back, but we were like, it was a bit strange, that whole thing with the art all hung up around the room and around the hotel and stuff, like, a bit odd.
Yeah.
So I did I googled him.
Yeah. Well, you would.
And the first thing that comes up on Google is John Mappin, Tintagel, Camelot Castle, Scientology. And I was like, oh.
And we love Scientology.
Yeah.
So.
And I went down a fucking rabbit hole. A glow-in-the-dark rabbit hole.
Hey, nice.
And got onto these, like, the Why We Protest websites.
Right.
Have you seen these?
I think I've heard of them.
Pages and pages set up by Anonymous, really.
Yeah.
Pages and pages and pages and pages. This one's only 12 pages long. There's one on there that's 136 pages
of him,
of stuff that people are finding out and putting on there.
But these are 12 pages about John Mappin.
So's the other one.
Oh, that's about John Mappin as well. Oh, okay.
No, this is what I'm saying. There's a lot of information on the web about this guy.
Oh.
And these people and what they do. And this is the crux. This is what I've been getting at for the last 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So I'm going to try and keep it precise, but this may run over an hour.
He's got links to Scientology.
Yeah.
This is why... this probably explains some of his behaviour.
Yeah. And essentially... well, let's... I don't know where their blogs are. Rubbish.
Excuse me. I don't know why I'm yawning so much.
I wasn't as prepared as I thought. Hold on.
Oh, well.
Give me a sec. So, John Mappin.
And that's him.
Born into jewellery and silver family. That's him.
He looks quite young. I thought he'd be older.
No.
Like the way you said he was dressed.
Yeah, exactly. He's not... I think he's in his 40s, probably.
She's not.
No, she isn't. Born into jewellery and silver family who served the royal houses of England and Europe continuously since 1700s, it can be said almost literally that John Mappin was introduced to the preferences of nobility and luxury from an early age. Keen, however, to make his own way in the world, the teenage John Mappin and a friend sold silver balloons outside the famous London store Harrods. Mappin enjoyed the interaction with people and was quick to notice that after purchasing a balloon, people tended to walk away smiling. This set the tone for many of his future endeavours, which aimed at making people happy.
Is this his personal website?
Yes. Today, one of the owners of the Camelot Castle Hotel in Cornwall, Mappin's life took several turns on his way to this point. He was in the stockbroking business for a time, travelled to Hollywood in the US, where he worked in the film industry, more on that later, mainly in film distribution, and later setting up a company selling story rights to producers of films and documentaries. More on that later.
Okay.
When John Mappin bought the Camelot Castle together with his wife Irina and partner Ted Stourton, more on that later.
Okay.
He actually set out to fulfill a dream. The three have a plan to create something special at the Camelot Castle Hotel to bring people together from all fields of the arts at a centre that will elevate British art to a new level, located in Tintagel, Cornwall, and steeped in the history of an atmosphere and King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table.
That's a lot of ands.
It really is. And steeped in the history. Oh no, the location lends itself perfectly to this cause. It is both tranquil and inspiring. True. Mappin, a well-known patron of the arts and partner Ted Stourton, an artist and creator in his own right, have fast brought the Camelot Castle to one of the UK's most popular hotels.
Question: Has he got a beard?
Who? Ted Stourton?
Yeah,
he did have.
No, I'm talking about a different kind of beard.
Oh.
More on that later.
Yeah. Where was I? In addition to many famous guests that stayed at the hotel from all walks of life, including, among others, Sir Winston Churchill and Ava Gardner, not while they were owning it.
No, I was thinking.
The hotel offers a unique artist in residence program whereby artists can stay at the hotel for free of charge. One of the hotel's highlights is Ted Stourton's Lightbox, a creation in which the viewer experiences light in a new way. The Lightbox has been described as sheer beauty and magic, and something not to be missed.
Did you miss it?
Yeah. Didn't want to go down into the creepy basement. John Mappin is also something of a media mogul who owns a newspaper group in London that publishes a number of local newspapers, the ones on the tables in the thing.
Oh, okay.
Mappin is a strong advocate of true and unbiased reporting, and in line with his attitude of trying to make people happy, a firm believer in promoting positive news items that are encouraging and heartening to his readers, rather than slanted or discouraging news items. Not really what people want to read. It's proven that people want to read bad things, so it makes them feel better about their lives. As an independent publisher, Mappin tries to spread a message of universal peace and inner tranquility through his newspapers. With the acquisition of Camelot Castle, John Mappin may have fulfilled a dream, but he still has more dreams. He would like to establish a chain of mythological hotels around the world, offering a superior service while spreading the message of tranquility and hope. Many people say that they want to change the world. John Mappin's actions are evidence of his intentions.
Edit.
Edit. So that's what he has to say about
his
himself.
message sounds familiar.
Yes, it does, doesn't it?
I read it in a book once. What about her?
Now, Irina... Oh, this is a wiki page. Is this... Yeah, no, that's fine. So, they're wiki pages, by the way, people. IrinaMappin.net, JohnMappin.net and TedStourton.net. Since 2001, Irina Mappin has been one of the proprietors at the Camelot Castle Hotel in Tintagel, which is a village located on Cornwall's Atlantic coast in the United Kingdom. Tintagel is a civil parish, and this designated territory attracts tourists worldwide, with it being one of the highly visited locations in Great Britain due to its firm association with the legend surrounding King Arthur and the Round Table. Together with her spouse, John Mappin, and their business partner, Ted Stourton, Irina offers artists from all corners of the globe a place of solitude in order to dwell and create art. Irina and John Mappin enable these artists to experience the spirit of creativity in an atmosphere of inspiration and enhancement by creating an innovative agenda that entices artists to spend time and ingest Ted Stourton's outstanding paintings, which are on display in the hotel.
That is a long sentence.
Isn't it just? There was no punctuation in that. I'm reading this verbatim.
Yeah, this is... It sounds very similar to John's page.
Yeah, I'm sorry. There are some... Ted Stourton, whom she met by chance, had a massive influence on Irina as she was astounded by his artistic and brilliant flair as an artist.
His butterflies.
Irina believes that an artist is that person that delivers and creates a higher quality of communication. The Ted Stourton collection at Camelot Castle is indeed one of the greatest and most magnificent collections of an artist anywhere in the world. True. They actually told me while we were there that he's outsold Picasso.
Really? But he's producing a hell of a lot more paintings.
That's probably why.
Yeah. Like you
more
said,
and cheap.
everywhere.
More and cheap is not better than few and expensive.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
So Justin Bieber's probably sold more fucking albums than some amazing...
Beethoven.
Yeah. Doesn't make it better.
No. Irina Mappin grew up in Kazakhstan and was privately educated at one of the leading universities in Britain, where she studied economics and politics. Irina's mother is Muslim and her father is Christian, and she married John Mappin in Kazakhstan, which borders Russia and China, north of Afghanistan. Irina Mappin's very own grandfather, Ibrahim Ablakov, was responsible for his part in the formation of Kazakhstan, and it was within these surroundings that Irina was raised with great emphasis on aesthetics and splendour.
To look nice.
Gold digger. Today, Irina Mappin is a humanitarian and entrepreneur. An art collection is her passion. This passion arose from Irina's early ancestors, His Noble Excellency Ablak, who was cultured in Eastern sciences and whereby, following his studies in Cairo, returned to Russia with his precious knowledge in philosophy. I don't understand any of what that meant.
No.
As advisor to the Tsarina of Kazan at the court of Ivan IV Vasilievich, the first Russian Tsar, he helped create the magnificence in Moscow and St. Petersburg that still exists today. So at some point there's some Russian connection and architecture and stuff like that. Camelot Castle was a prime location for a new short movie recently filmed by British television in the making of the secret of Camelot Castle. This movie comprises private interviews that were held with Irina and John Mappin and Ted Stourton. Now, I couldn't find that. I'm sure it's out there.
Yeah,
the secret of Camelot Castle. So go and find that if you
secret?
like. What is the secret? We'll get to that. Camelot Castle has an unforgettable aura. And guests travel far from all over the world in order to experience the magic and at the same time enjoying a short break in an extremely comfortable environment. Yeah, true. Celebrities and artists and distinguished personalities, including the castle's history, Winston Churchill, Laurence Olivier, Ivan Novello, Julie Walters, Nicolas Cage, among many more, have also made this journey to Camelot Castle to feel the beauty of this unique and romantic setting. Irina Mappin's great love of dogs is also evidence at the Camelot Castle Hotel, as they are welcome guests, and dog birthday parties held at the castle are a popular event.
And they come up to you and start sniffing you.
Yes, and in one case, bite the fuck out of your puppy without an apology.
Oh, really?
Or without anything being paid. Yeah, this is like something that happened to someone who stayed there, I read somewhere.
Nice.
Yeah. So, you know, it's all very kind of samey. I can't find Ted Stourton's one now, but essentially it's all the same fucking thing.
It's the same stuff. They've done amazing stuff together, and they own this castle together. And
yeah,
but the difference is he's an artist rather than
an entrepreneur. And he is inspired by French Impressionism at art school and was able to begin building his own impressive collection. He started out as a collector and then became an artist, basically. Right. So he had money in the first place because he was a collector.
Say, where did his money come from to help him buy?
I don't really know.
But
yeah, today he plays a major role in the Artists in Residence program at the Camelot Castle in England. Here, Stourton has put great effort into establishing a haven for artists from around the world, and in addition is the hotel's artist in residence, with many of Stourton's work displayed throughout the hotel and on the hotel's grounds. Many of his works. Apparently it started when he was 6 years old and his family went to an art exhibit. When young Stourton, his behaviour at the art exhibit was quite extraordinary for a 6-year-old. Instead of running around zigzagging through the exhibits like a typically impatient young child, plaguing his parents with frequent requests to be allowed to go out and play, Stourton found himself mesmerised by the beauty and expression of French Impressionism. He felt as though the paintings were communicating directly to him, and then, as soon as he had the means to do so, Ted Stourton started building his own art collection. He gained the reputation of being a collector that other collectors could go to for advice. He enjoyed looking for and sharing art as much as he enjoyed collecting it for himself. For those who have never seen the work of Ted Stourton, the idea that an art collector is now creating works and that others want to collect may seem unusual. For those who have fucking seen his work, it's unusual. For Stourton, however, the progression to artist was natural and organic. The works of the masters communicated to him, and he, in return, felt the need to communicate through his own art. Indeed, Stourton's work, which includes paintings and sculptures, has been described as beautiful and emotive, and can be found in the collections of celebrities and art connoisseurs around the world.
And people who are willing to pay through the nose.
Yep. Or pay what they want.
Or pay whatever the guy thinks they can afford.
And then, all that stuff about the Round Table and wizardry and fantasy and heroism and faith.
Has any of his art got anything to do with King Arthur?
Nope. Not a single thing.
Right.
I didn't see one that was about Tintagel.
You'd think they'd have some like King Arthur artwork and... other than the Round Table.
Stupidly, I should have brought up some of his actual artwork.
It was, yeah.
You might have seen some of it. I mean, this is the kind of stuff you're talking about. You got that, and there's like, that's the hotel. I mean, some of them are quite good.
They're not terrible.
But then it's not the kind of thing that I'd want hanging anywhere in my house.
But we're not art collectors.
Not art collectors. What do we know? I mean, there are none on.
It is not. His stuff isn't very. Although that one looks quite detailed, but a lot of his stuff isn't very detailed. There's a lot of wash.
No, but this is in post-impressionism. This is a thing.
I don't understand.
Which I don't really understand. But Joe would be able to tell you exactly like where it kind of comes from and the etymology and the history of impressionism and stuff. But
yeah,
to me, it's I'm a Gentile in this situation. I have no idea. Right. So, back to John Mappin, shall we?
Well, yeah.
Back in, what was it, 2000, 2001, a fella called Benjamin Pell, who was essentially the first person in Fleet Street, really, to go through the bins of the rich and famous.
Oh, okay, I remember,
to find their, to find out what was going on in their lives. Yeah. He was one of them kind of people and would sell those stories to newspapers, and that's how he made his name. He got into a bit of a legal onset with John Mappin. Basically, what happened was that John Mappin said that he found his story very interesting, and how would you like a movie made about your life? Because I think people. I guess it's kind of interesting. Yeah. But this Benji the Binman, as he was known, but in Fleet Street, kind of jumped at the chance. But Pell accused Mappin of hoodwinking him out of nearly £80,000 with empty promises to turn his story into the biggest movie of all time. I don't think it would have been the biggest movie of all time, if I'm honest.
No. It might have been interesting. Yeah. Documentary, maybe.
He says he handed the money over to pay the travel costs and expenses of an American filmmaker introduced to him by Mappin. He claims the man allegedly described by Mappin as the most powerful person in Hollywood, not Harvey Weinstein. I don't think. Turned out to be a hairdresser whom Mappin met at a Scientology meeting. Pell says nothing came of the movie. He wants his money back and is accusing Mappin of fraudulent misrepresentation. Mappin denies the allegations and says he's going to file a counterclaim against Pell. Thanks to his muckraking activities, Pell is no stranger to the courts. A former trainee solicitor who lives with his parents in Hendon, North London, first attracted attention. Oh, this goes on for something else. But essentially, the legal claim submitted to the High Court says that Mappin first proposed the idea of the film in June 1999. Mappin allegedly said the movie would be based on Pell's life story and would be a $10 million blockbuster, but that it could only be made properly by one man, William Ian Jones.
Even in 1999, $10 million is not a blockbuster.
No, it wasn't. So Mappin allegedly said Jones, the movie
hairdresser,
had introduced John Travolta to Quentin Tarantino and secured him a part in Pulp Fiction. Maybe true. Maybe he cut John Travolta's hair. Maybe he cut Quentin Tarantino's hair and said, "I know this guy," but you know who John Travolta is if you're Quentin Tarantino, surely. I mean, Saturday Night Fever.
Well, it's John Travolta.
Yeah, it's weird.
So weird.
Pell claims that Mappin offered to introduce him to Jones, but says he was told he would have to pay the US producer £10,000 in consideration for his time. So just for a meeting with this guy, £10,000 about a movie that might make you a lot more money. Yeah, it's plausible.
Why? No.
You didn't know at this point that this guy's a hairdresser.
Yeah, but at the same time, I don't think producers
charge
someone for a pitch meeting.
I'm not sure how it works, but I wouldn't have thought so.
I wouldn't have thought. No, I would have thought it'd be set up by an agent.
Yeah.
Who would be Mappin, would be working as the agent, and he sets up this pitch meeting. I don't know.
Pell also said that he was told Jones could not be expected to stay in any old motel, and handed over a further £3,375 to cover accommodation costs. Pell claims he first met Jones a few weeks later at London's Four Seasons Hotel. At that point, he says an agreement was struck and Jones filmed him at work as a prelude to the movie project. Meanwhile, he says, Mappin's assured him that Jones was busy at work on the project in California. By March of 2000, Pell says he was becoming suspicious. When Mappin allegedly asked him for a further £40,000, he refused. He accuses Mappin of creating a sham appearance that a bona fide film was being made to get as much money out of him as possible. Pell also says Jones was neither well known, nor well connected, nor highly influential, nor trustworthy, nor experienced as a producer. In fact, Mr. Jones was not a qualified film producer at all. Rather, he was a hairdresser. Pell was not returning calls last week. Mappin maintains the movie is still being made and Pell's money was used for the purpose intended. He admitted Jones was a hairdresser, but he was also keen. He was also a keen, enthusiastic film producer starting his career. So not the most powerful person in Hollywood. Who had studied filmmaking.
This guy's a journalist.
Yeah.
It's 1999/2000.
Yeah.
He's got access to the internet to find out who this guy is before he hands any money over.
Surely this guy should have done more research.
I think, being a journalist as well,
yeah,
you would have thought he'd be able to do research. I think this guy, he was stitched up, but with a lot, for a lot.
But essentially,
it's kind of his own fault at the same time.
A little bit, yeah. I mean, I think they settled it in court in the end, and he won £80,000 off Mappin, which almost.
But here it says it only cost him 50. I suppose,
yeah, but
legal
there's
costs
and stuff as well. He had to pay like 40 grand in legal costs or something.
Yeah.
So yeah, that struck a bit of a bell, and then I kind of was like, oh well, it said that he went on his website. He went to Hollywood and worked in the film industry, so it's not out of the question to.
No, I
mean it might just be that this guy got like starstruck. Was like, you want to make a movie about me? You've been to Hollywood. You know people. Yeah, sure. Take some money.
Yeah. I suppose it would be easy to get caught up in it. Sure,
and this John Mappin guy, when he talks, it's kind of authoritative. He knows what he's got the spiel. He's a spiel man.
Yeah, we said about that before, didn't we? About believing somebody.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So I went to IMDb.
Okay.
And looked up John Mappin. He's an actor, don't you know? He's been in 3 things. He was in Waxwork 2, Lost in Time, as Argento. I don't know what the fuck that is, because there's none of these movies have any plots on there. He was in Sweet Valley High.
Really?
Yeah, in 1995 as a character called Dante in a show called Working Girl.
Yeah.
Just one episode in 1995, weirdly. And I might need the audio for this bit.
Right. Yeah.
He's in a film called Dark Secrets, which is a porno.
Is it actually a porno?
It's one of those softcore ones that you'll find on like
the Emmanuel.
Yeah.
The Emmanuel type ones.
But shit.
No, the Emmanuel ones are shit as well.
Yeah. So I'm gonna play you the trailer for.
Is he in the trailer
for Dark Secrets? I can't remember him being there, but he might be.
Oh, okay.
But here we go.
We'll see.
The trailer to Dark Secrets, 1997 movie. Oh, that's.
Whoa.
Sorry.
Let's try that again. Whoa, that went weird. Let's put it in the right hole. Yeah, we're talking about a porno film.
There we go.
Here we are.
Deep below the glittering hills of Los Angeles,
It's definitely.
The world of forbidden pleasures is alive, catering to the decadent tastes of the rich and powerful.
We will put links to this everywhere.
The twisted pleasure of every sexual fantasy.
Orgies, wild, sexual behavior. You're gonna win a Pulitzer for this one, kid.
That's not him.
No.
One woman is determined to expose this game of seduction. But instead,
that is the real you. That's who you are.
That's not him either.
She finds an overpowering desire to fulfill her own sexual dreams. Her dark secrets.
Murdered somebody.
It was an accident.
Oh, come on, accident.
Monique Perrant and
Yeah,
Jimmy
it looks
Strait
very.
star in the most erotic film of the year,
The most
Dark
erotic
Secrets. It will allow you to walk the fine line between uninhibited passion and dangerous fantasy.
Okay.
It
That
will
might be
unlock
him.
your own dark secrets.
I've seen that poster somewhere before. Like the.
Right at
There's
the
a little
end.
tag off
The
at the end.
little
Yeah.
the little
But,
spank
you might as well keep that actually, because you've got other
Yeah,
bits
yeah.
you wanted to play. Wow, yeah, we're going to go over an hour.
Yeah, I think we are.
What's the
fuck,
time?
Shit.
Well, I've got to be going.
Right, yeah, okay.
We got-
So
Maybe we can have to cut this into 2
maybe
episodes, because I do actually
I don't think it's that
have to take
important,
Chloe
though.
somewhere.
Yeah. Right, okay, yeah. So you got that. So
Yeah.
he was in a softcore. That was the main gist of that. And then basically, yeah, there's this massive 12-page thing about all sorts of things that Anonymous has put up, and it's just pretty much genius.
Just stuff that he's done, he may have done.
Yeah, I mean, essentially, there's a whole bit about the actual relationship between John, Ted, and Irina. In that she's a plant.
Oh, really?
And they're actually a couple. They're fishing buddies, which apparently is a terminology used for men being gay and going out and kind of, cheating on their wives with each other and stuff.
Which is what I meant by him having a beard.
A beard, yeah,
She's
because
his
a beard is
the female who's covering up his
chin.
real sexuality.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's got a bit of cum. Like,
yeah. So there's that whole thing going on.
yeah.
There's
Which
also,
is what I got from when you kept going partner.
Yeah. I kind of heavily inflected on some of that.
Some people you have to tell.
But you got there's
Whoa.
a terrifying account from someone or other on here. And basically it's been translated from Polish, because most of the workers who work there are Polish.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And it basically goes into some sort of detail about that they're kind of kept in pretty appalling conditions, and all their money doesn't go to them.
Oh, okay.
And that they don't even make enough money to pay for the electric for the heater that's in the room, and some other stuff like that. It's pretty nasty. There's like mushrooms growing on the walls, and there's roaches and things like that, and it all sounds a bit dungeony.
Yeah.
These are genuinely there is further on in the thread there's an actual ex-worker who is on this Why We Protest site.
Or for legal purpose, someone who claims to be.
Yeah, someone who claims to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I mean I should keep saying allegedly and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
Anything that I say on here is alleged.
Yeah. This is just stuff on the internet that you can read.
Yeah, exactly. It's all out there for everyone to read and make your own mind up. But there's another thing on here saying that essentially people are trashing the place. A lot of people are saying that the bathroom situation in a lot of the rooms, they're like plastic pod bathrooms, like separate units.
Oh, okay.
Almost, that are like shoved in the corner of a room. Where
Oh,
there's
so like
a little toilet and shower cubicle thing.
Yeah, so it's not a separate room.
And that is maybe what the upgrade was. Maybe that was the room that we were having, and they upgraded us to one with a bathroom. Because there are communal bathrooms.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
So that could be a thing.
I suppose like the way that you get away with that though is by saying it's an old building, like it's hard to get plumbing in every room.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Which is understandable.
Yeah, but the amount of money that they claim to be making from this place, couldn't they just spend a bit of money?
Yeah.
I mean, I know it's expensive, but he was saying that he spent $250,000 on that blue room and the downstairs bits, which all look really, really nice. But the rooms
bedrooms
themselves, I mean, the paint on the door was chipped.
Yeah, and you'd expect something like a Camelot Castle to be.
We were upgraded to a room with a bathroom.
Yeah.
You know, it's just it's all a bit worrying, really. Sorry, I'm trying. There's some more of the butterfly artwork.
Yes. Weird.
Um,
It's definitely juvenile.
Yeah, this person, Alona, allegedly says that she was one of their favourites. I had privileges. I could do more than others. For example, when one of my colleagues hit accidentally Mr. Stourton, we had to write him a letter. He had to write him a letter and say how sorry he was, and he had to clean his basement. But then I hit Mr. Mappin by accident, of course. He just smiled and said, "That's okay, my dear, not to worry." I had to do a lot of tests, and I did. And they treated me very well. I could do whatever I wanted to, and they said nothing. But I just couldn't stand that they made me do those tests and read those books. They never said Scientology. Now I'm really afraid to say my name or tell any details about my experience there. I was too close to them. I am scared. I am really scared.
Tests and books. It does sound a lot like Scientology.
Yeah, well... What,
but the thing is, the Scientology texts say Scientology on them.
Yeah.
And they say Scientology a lot.
Yeah, but these are Polish people.
Yeah.
And they might not be able to read it properly. And they
but
might
there's
be...
like translations for every language. Of course.
But they probably wouldn't get it. I don't know. From the sounds of it, they're passing these texts and videos off as business courses.
Well, yeah.
Because they are, essentially.
That is what they are, yeah. But is he setting up his own?
Yeah, the conditions were really bad. Actually, I had to admit that they never registered me there. I was the only one working there without any social security number. I don't know why. First, I have to, which kind of is like, oh, really?
Social security number, though?
Yeah.
In the UK?
Yeah, exactly. First I had to read Way to Happiness, and they asked me questions about what I read, and then I had to read Dianetics and other crap. They gave me pills.
That's Scientology.
Yeah, they gave me pills, and when I left this place, they were pretending that they didn't know about my leaving, so they didn't have to pay me. I had to beg them for my money when I got back home. I stayed there for a summer break, and I wanted to earn money from my university. I worked a lot, and I earned nothing. I was their favourite, and because of them, I had no friends there because everyone was scared that I am one of them, and I can tell some things about hotel staff. I really want to help everyone. Do not go to work there. It is a mess. I am still a mess. I believed them, and I was way too deep into this Scientology crap. That's why I'm scared now.
That does go to show why everyone's really nice there, though.
Yeah, and
do you think they were probably trying to recruit you to?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I mean, we weren't artists, so but yeah, there's stuff like there's some really like horrifying stories on this website, and it makes me wonder. Like the hotel itself, really really nice, possibly a front for Scientology. Not massively my problem, but if this kind of abuse is going on,
if that's what's happening to people working there,
like that's the thing. That I mean, this thread starts out quite jokey, and then by the end of the thread is really serious and
because
a bit
people
depressing.
have found it.
Yeah. So it's definitely worth a read. Whether or not you should believe it, I'm not entirely sure. Anonymous are all over this thing.
Oh yeah, but they are anything's to a Scientology.
Yeah. And the thing is, apart from this whole workers' living conditions and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm not put off the place.
Yeah, if it's staying there as a guest.
Yeah.
It's fine.
But knowing that this might be going on, I mean, the thing is you don't know. This could all... I mean, the thing about the internet is you never know what's true and what's not. But there's no smoke without fire.
Do you know that quite... I said I had something that I could probably tag on?
Yes.
What you're saying now leads perfectly onto what I was saying.
Brilliant.
About this documentary I watched a little while ago called Scientologists at War. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if you ever saw it, but I've got it, and you probably find it out there somewhere. It is about Scientologists who love Scientology.
Yeah.
Or they love the Scientology that L. Ron Hubbard started, but they don't like what it's turned into, which is with this new guy, I don't know his name.
No.
Who took over after L. Ron Hubbard. And it's this guy who was quite high up in the church, and he was very in there with L. Ron Hubbard and his second man. And then when L. Ron Hubbard died, then the second man became the top man.
Yeah.
And he became the right-hand man. And it all got a bit dark. And then he had to escape. And because they caught him when he tried to escape, they sent him to a camp to kind of readjust his mind. And then he escaped from that camp as well. And then when he met his wife and stuff, and then she found out about all this, like, because he got really depressed, the guy. And because he didn't have Scientology anymore. He still had all his materials locked in a chest. And he ended up getting really depressed, and he was upset, and he didn't know what to do with his life. And then his wife found all his books.
Right.
And she kind of took them to him and was just kind of like, look, just read the books, because obviously this is what you want. And he set up the independent Scientology church. And it's... They're basically trying to... Is iscientology.com, I think. Hang on. I'll have a look. I've got it.
Also, while you're looking that up...
iscientology.org, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it is a church for people who love Scientology and what they teach, but not the darker stuff that you hear about.
Which is kind of... It's... Yeah.
Yeah, basically rebooting Scientology. It's L. Ron Hubbard's view of Scientology.
Yeah, rather than the slightly twisted thing that it's become.
Yeah.
I think... Are we going to do ABCs this week?
I don't know.
We're pushing it.
Yeah.
I think we're going to do ABCs next week.
How close are we?
I mean, essentially, what I'm going to say is I want to go out on something a bit lighter.
Yeah, kind of round it off.
Yeah.
Maybe we can do ABCs quickly.
Yeah.
Is yours quick?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, we'll do it quickly after. Just.
All right. Well, no, we can go out on this, is what I mean.
I'll go out on that.
Yeah,
do you want to do ABCs now?
Yeah, yeah.
Let's do them quickly.
See, if we edited, we could edit this part out, but we don't. So.
We don't edit. You've got the audio, haven't you?
Oh, shit, yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, is that down?
Yeah, it's down. I totally forgot.
And then I'll need it back.
Okay. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so...
The ABCs of ABH. What letters today?
Q.
What a fucking letter.
Yeah.
It did worry me at first.
I just I had a couple of things. Essentially, I'm going to go down the route of bands, and it's Queen, I'm afraid.
I didn't ever think of that. That was really good. No, I like Queen.
Queen are one of the greatest bands we've ever produced as a country. Freddie Mercury was the greatest singer we've ever produced as a singer.
He had the greatest mind, musical mind, I think.
Just the body of work speaks for itself. I mean, the fact that, you know, you had... It kind of ranged. It was prog. It was you know, you had the punk bit where they started going really lo-fi with stuff like We Are the Champions and We Will Rock You, which was a reaction against punk, really. You had just, when it went into the 80s, it went all synth. They did soundtracks for fucking Flash Gordon and
they're brilliant. And like Brian May, not only is he a great guitarist and a great musician generally, he's a fucking doctor. He is. He's an astronomer.
He's an astrophysicist.
Is it astrophysics?
I think so.
Yeah, but
something
either
like
way.
That. But yeah, I mean, he appears quite regularly on stuff like
Sky at
Night.
Yeah,
and the Stargazing Live and stuff
like
that.
Yeah, and also I was going to say Brian May also writes a lot with Kerry Ellis, who I've mentioned a few times, and Roger Taylor's son drums for Kerry Ellis.
Yes, yeah, so. And Roger Taylor seems like quite a nice guy, actually. He seems quite cool. He kind of tells it how it is.
And then you've got the bassist
and then
guy.
John Deacon. I mean, he's the only one. He stopped playing entirely after Freddie's death. He went into reclusion essentially. And yeah, I felt a bit sorry for him. And they've kind of continued to produce music, but they've never done it with a big
touring with singers.
Paul Rodgers from Free.
I don't think he is anymore. I think it is a guy. He was in an American production of Thriller. Oh no, he was an American X Factor runner-up or winner or something. I think that's the latest one they did. But yeah,
they don't make a song and dance about it.
They're touring Queen songs. Yeah. They're not writing new Queen songs.
They did produce an album with Paul Rodgers, though, didn't they? Yeah,
but was it new songs?
It was Queen and Paul Rodgers, and I think it was new songs, but there wasn't a big fanfare about it, which I quite like.
Yeah.
Because they're not like, oh, we're Queen, we're back. It's like, this is something you might want to listen to.
Yeah, but it wasn't Queen, it was Queen and Paul Rodgers.
And Paul Rodgers, yeah.
So.
Precisely, but just the greatest band that has ever been produced from this country. I think
Yep.
I'm gonna put it out
quite like
there.
that cue. I like that cue. Yeah.
And also, if you don't know anything by them, just look up Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yeah.
It's cliche.
It's nonsensical.
It's
it's
astounding. And then just buy the Platinum Collection.
Yeah, it's got the greatest hits 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah, it's great. And on the third one, you've got most of the stuff on the third one is stuff from the Freddie Mercury tribute concert where you've got other people performing Queen songs.
Yes, and
like
you've
David
got
Bowie. And the best one on there, George Michael. The only one who can hold a candle to Freddie Mercury.
Yeah, and he
And
performed
actually-
with Freddie Mercury.
Yeah.
Oh, I've got goosebumps.
So have I.
Running low on disc space.
Blimey.
My cue, I mentioned it before briefly, a game called
Yeah.
Quantum Conundrum.
Yes.
Which I got for free on PlayStation Plus, but it is available for $8.89 on the PlayStation Network, 1,200 points on the Xbox Live Arcade, $6.99 on Steam, which is PC, or $7.99 you get the Season Pass, which has the 2 DLCs and the soundtrack.
Do you work for them?
No, I just wanted to give everyone, because I know we've got
gamers that listen.
Yes, and they have different networks. But it's produced by Airtight Games, published by Square Enix. Airtight. But yeah, I would say describe it. It's a puzzler, and it's very similar to Portal, which is coincidental because the Kim Swift, who was the director of it, was the lead designer on Portal.
Okay.
But she left to make this, and it is you've basically you play a little kid who goes to stay at his uncle's house. His uncle's not expecting his uncle being a mad scientist. The kid gets there and he can communicate with his uncle, but he can't see him because his uncle's trapped between dimensions.
Okay.
Or he's trapped in some dimension. But basically the oh shit, we're running really low. Quick. We just ran out of space on the laptop. I'm glad I actually went back and done a bit of checking to make sure.
Because otherwise I'd have gone all the way home and received a phone call.
And then we would have been listening back to the podcast and been, oh shit.
Yeah.
So
anyway,
how far did I get?
He was living with his uncle and
he went to visit his uncle.
Yep.
He was staying with his uncle. He turned up
unannounced.
That's the word. The uncle had no idea. So yeah, you end up the uncle wants you to, like, as the nephew's first person perspective, wants you to complete some puzzles basically to free him. You got to start up some generators or something.
Yeah.
And you carry out some puzzles, and these rooms, they change their physics based on the puzzle you need to do. It's like teaches you about the physics, and then you get a glove which allows you to control the different physics of each room.
I see.
But you can only have one variation at a time. You can either have normal, or you can have fluffy dimension, which makes everything 10 times lighter. Heavy dimension, which makes everything 10 times heavier. Slow dimension, which makes stuff 10 times slower, but it doesn't affect the player.
Right.
So you're still moving normally.
But everything else moves very slow. Right.
And a reverse gravity dimension, which reverses the gravity in the room, except the player is not affected. So it's very interesting, very good game, and I would recommend people get it. It's a first person
puzzler
game in the vein of Portal. So
fair play. Good cues,
very
I think,
good.
this week.
Yeah, I think,
Queen and Quantum Conundrum.
Now,
I just wanted to go out on something real quick in the fact that John Mappin himself, who I've been talking about for the entire episode, also, as well as being a movie star and a producer of a newspaper, all about good news,
and a Hollywood
and
agent,
all the rest of it,
an art connoisseur.
He also has tried to carve his way as a pop star. Now he's got an album out called Ripples of Peace, which is all kind of ethereal and panpipey. Well, not panpipe, but like that kind of new wavy, new agey kind of hippy drippy stuff. There's one on there called Irina, which is all about his wife. You should go and listen to it. You can listen to it all on the CamelotCastle.com/John-music, and it's the whole album is there to listen to. But he's come more into the 21st century with his new the new track, which is called Timeless Muse, which apparently the album that will be coming out is called Timeless, and this is a more electronic approach, a little bit more kind of Daft Punk mixed with
this will only be a sample of a few seconds.
Yeah.
You could handle
it's so awesome that you couldn't handle the entirety of it, but essentially here it is. This is Timeless Muse by Give Me Harmony.
I always interrupt you during the creative process.
Send me a harmony. Find my music. send me on away.
I always interrupt you during the creative process.
So that's been Anywhere But Here, number 31 this week. I've been Tom.
I've been Ed.
Bye.
Life's so beautiful, alive.
But a few weeks ago we mentioned a podcast called the Nerd Church Podcast, and they're new friends of ours from the US. You can find all the links and descriptions and stuff below if you want to go and listen to them. We also sent out a request on our last episode, which I believe was episode